Heygen's avatar light is by far the best AI virtual you that you can get out there right now. And in this video, I'll give you a few tips and tricks to make most of how that AI avatar can look and sound. So to make a great avatar, you have two big portions of stuff that you have to deal with in the correct way. First of all, it's your surroundings. How do I look on the camera so I look best in my avatar? And then secondly is how do I behave towards the camera to give the AI model my source files? Like how do I speak so it can interpret me for me, right? So let's start with the first one, that's your surrounding. And of course, you have to look good in your camera to be able to be convincing as an AI avatar. And so what's really important, and especially if your camera is not as fancy as this one, is light. Because camera, chips and light go together. And so if you have a camera that's not as nice and you have a big light source behind you, it will have trouble adjusting that light to balance how your face looks, and it will blow out the background and make you darker. It's not good. So make sure there's no big light behind you, but there's light behind your camera pointing on your face. And then the next one is how do I position myself in the camera? And we call this the rule of thirds, right? You can cross your screen like that and like that. And you tend to want to be in the top row in the middle. And so you have a bit of half body, and that's generally the nicest for these avatars. And then the last thing about your surrounding is how you sound. I have a pretty fancy microphone and I can get quite close to it, so there's not that much echo around it. And so what's most important if you maybe don't have this, make sure it's relatively close to your face so it doesn't pick up all the echoes around you, because sound waves bounce around to walls and things like that. They come back and it sounds like echo, and it's not what you want. Anyway, so that's for your surroundings. And then now let's go into number 2, is like how do you speak to your avatar, or at least to your source file you give the AI model. And so I've tried a few different ones. One where I'm very animated, I move my hands a lot. One where I have more pauses and look straight into the camera. And then one where I'm a relatively boring but monotone. And you actually kind of need a mix of all of it. So I would say have a 2-minute monologue prepared and practice it like you really know it like the back of your head. So you don't have to think about the sentences. Just tell a story that you really know. And then make sure that when stuff gets more exciting, you move your arms a little bit more, but don't look too far away from the camera. And the most important thing I've learned is don't tilt your head too much. Because the avatar has to kind of mimic your lips and your teeth and your eyes. And if you're slightly off angle, it's not gonna look great. So make sure your head is level, you're relatively far so you have, half body. Look in the camera but be natural, like you're talking to a friend. So you might look away just a tiny bit sometimes. But generally have this monologue and start low in energy and then build it up only a little bit and then move your arms here and there. Because that gives the AI model something to grasp, like when you speak like something that's more interesting in the script, it might add an arm or two or things like that. And also make sure not to pause too long and look straight into the camera, because I've had it where it basically looks like my avatar wants to murder you because it's quiet and it looks straight into the camera. And that's kind of awkward. And of course, this is a technology that is continually evolving. It's going to be a lot better soon. But these are the simplest tricks I can give you now that will give you more success. And so I'll sprinkle some of my avatars throughout this video, and then let's see if you notice if it was me talking as a real human versus the avatar and how it all sounds. Anyways, have fun with Heygen, because this is magical. It's going to be so fun to see what we can do in the future. Cheers.